All right, so have you been hearing these buzzwords, AI, artificial intelligence, robots, Skynet? You've heard all the things, these weird, 5-letter words, Claude or, ChatGPT or all the things. But in today's video, we are going to talk about AI and is it a good idea to use AI in pricing for listings? And I'm going to tell you a little story from my own experience. I had a lead that came through this summer and this guy was like, I need you to sell my house in like 30 to 45 days this summer. If I can't sell it, then I'm just gonna rent it out. So I was like, challenge accepted. I think I can do this. I think I can pull this off. So I was kind of rattling in my head, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get this thing priced? What is my strategy around putting it on the market? What am I going to do? So what I did was I was like, okay, I need to do this quickly because again, this is my timetable's already, started and I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do to get this thing on the market. So what I did was I said, okay, I don't think that AI is the greatest with just pulling numbers like out of the sky, but I do think it is good at analyzing data. So what I did was I took the comps for everything that's sold in the area. And then I told ChatGPT, because that's kind of my go-to. If you're a Claude person, I don't want, I'm sorry. If you're Gemini, again, I apologize up front on this, but ChatGPT is old school and that's old school, right? That doesn't even make sense. But what I did was I took the data, I did a screenshot of all the houses that have sold in that area. And then I took a picture of the tax assessor's website with all the data and information. And I ran it against AI and I told AI to calculate the comps and then to calculate the appreciation. And then I said, based off of my subject property, to give me a value on this home and a strategic plan to sell it within 30 to 45 days in today's environment. And so I just shot it in there and then it was like, and then it just did its thinking thing and gave me a couple things. And then I gave it a couple of tweaks because some of the data didn't quite match up with the actual price per square foot and a couple other things. So when I went in there and kind of did those tweaks, it gave me a number, it gave me an action plan, and then I put that all together in a nice little email. I just told Chat to create the email, and then this is what the email said. Mr. Seller, I wanted to follow up with a quick market update and share my recommendations on the pricing of this address and to get it sold in the next 30 to 45 days. And then it said, after reviewing the most recent sales, and then of that address, and then it gave me the top 3 candidates that met the best criteria for the price per square foot and the location, the exact location. And now here's what we're seeing. Recent solds prices are averaging this price per square foot, and the most recent homes have sold between this purchase price and this purchase price. And your property is approximately this amount of square footage, which puts the average around, and then the price point was $393. And then it said the goal is to generate the strongest interest and get an offer within the next 30 days. And I'd recommend pricing it, and we price it at $389.9. And it says this positions us, bringing me into the conversation to win the listing, and just below the psychological $400,000 barrier. So it's we're using some of this kind of stuff and in line with the current market momentum without leaving money on the table. And of course, we can adjust it if the market shifts, but this gives us the strongest shot at getting a solid buyer quickly with minimizing time on market and negotiations. And then I just said, tell me what your thoughts are. So this was, what was this? This was at 6:34 p.m. on June 26th of this year. He sends me back like just shy of an hour later. Send me the stuff. You got the job. And prior to the conversation, I said, he's like, well, what would you do to get it going? And I was like, well, if we only have 30 days, we're going to do aerial photos. We're going to do professional photography. We're going to put it on Facebook. We're going to position it properly with pricing. And then the other thing was that he was also concerned about how it's going to show in pictures. And so I said, well, if we only got 30 days, we don't have time to do actual staging. We just don't have time. But we can do virtual staging. And we did the virtual staging. I call it the full Monty. We just launch all the things. And so we launched every avenue that I could possibly do without having to do a ton of moving pieces. And we were able to get photos and all the things up and running within 2 days after he said, let's go, and got it on the market. We did an open house that first weekend, and we do a coming soon launch. So we launched that coming soon to an open house, which creates a little bit more reasons for people to go to an open house. Whereas if you just have open houses for the sake of opening houses, they kind of just lose their reason why you're doing them, unless you're just trying to catering to like the neighbors because they just got nothing else better to do on a Sunday. So we did that, and we had a lot of people come through that first weekend, and then that week following. So again, when I told you, we did it for 2 weeks. We had 2-week window to get to the 30-day, the 45-day close. So during the first 2 weeks, half of that was coming soon. So it was just on the market with no showings. So actually, we did end up getting it under contract, but part of that 45 days, a week of that was coming soon. So no one was able to actually go in the property. So we launched all the marketing, created buzz around it to that open house. So really, when you think about it, from an actual viewership standpoint, we got it under contract in a week. It was just on the market for 2 weeks because of the coming soon. So if you don't think that AI can help shortcut and speed up things in your real estate business, or if you're a buyer or seller thinking that, is there a real estate agent out there that's on the cutting edge of doing things quickly, more efficiently, then reach out to us, because we are definitely in tune with what's going on in the AI space. And actually, Real is an AI company. We actually just purchased their AI company just a couple of months ago, and we're integrating all of their technology into the things that we're doing over here at Real. So if you want to learn more, or if you just like this kind of content, just hit like, subscribe, hit the alerts button, because we do this kind of stuff every single week. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.